Okay, so today let's talk about the access modifiers. Okay, so as I said, like access modifier, and then the libraries, the exceptions. Okay, so these things we will discuss.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so yeah, coming over here. One second, let my Eclipse gets loaded. It's taking a time. I'm sorry. So last class we discussed about the abstract class interface and the package, right? So any doubts on that? Do you have any doubts? I hope I'm audible, right? Am I audible? Am I audible? I hope I'm audible, right?
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible? Am I audible?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, okay, let me share my screen. Just a second. Yeah, here you go. Yeah. So in the last class, we talked about the abstract class, interface, and the packages. Okay. So
Yeah.
today, let's go ahead and discuss about the next one, that is the access modifier. Okay. Let me say the okay. Access modifiers. All right. I hope the font size is fine for you. Is this font size is fine?
Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Yeah.
Okay. So now coming over here, if you see, Java provides access protection at two levels. Okay, access protection at two levels. One is at the class level or the interface level. You can say class or interface level. Another one is member level. Okay, another one is member level. So this member level, we can have a variable, method, and also the constructor. Okay. All right. So two levels of access protection that we have. One is at the class and the interface level, if not the member level, which we can say like a variable, method, and the constructor. And coming over here, we have four types of access modifiers in Java. Okay, four types of access modifiers in Java. The first one we will say private. Second one we will say default. Third one we will say it as protected. And fourth one we say it as public. Okay, so these are the four types of access modifier that we have in the Java. Now, what about the public? Any idea?
These public access modifiers are accessible from, I mean, publicly available outside the class also, but private only modified inside the class.
Okay.
And
Now coming over here, this access modifier, if you see, we have the applicable level. Okay, we have an applicable level and also who can access. Just give me a minute, 1 minute. I'm sorry about it. Now coming over here, let's say this public. Okay, this is applicable to your data members, which means like the members. Okay, your data members, your method members, and also your classes and interfaces. So to all these things, you can apply this public modifier. Now, who can access it? Any class can access it. Any class can access it. Okay, so coming over to the public, if you see, it is applicable. Okay, public is applicable to data members, methods, class, and interface. And who can access it? Any class can access it. Okay. Similarly, coming to the protected, if you see, it is applicable only, it is applicable to data members, methods, and inner class. Now, who can access it? Though we are saying a protected, all classes from within the same package, as well as all subclasses that can access your protected members, methods, and the inner class. And now coming over here, default. When you say it as a default, okay, when you say it as a default. Now, for example, let's say coming over here to the program, if we are not specifying the public keyword, when no keyword is there, then we call that as a default. Okay, when no keyword is there, then that we call it like a default. Okay, so that is what, so which we also call it like a no keyword. So when you didn't specify any keyword, that comes under the default category. And yes, it is applicable for the data members, methods, and classes. And who can access it? It can access, which means like all classes. Okay, all classes within the same package. All classes from within the same package. Only they can access it. Now coming to the private, yes. This is, if you see, it is applicable to the data members, methods, inner class, yes. But who can access it? Who can access it? There comes the thing. Private, right? So all the members from the same class, they can access it. So these are the access modifier. So access modifier in Java, if you see, it controls who can see and use different parts of the program. That is like your variables, your methods, who can use it. Think of it like a security level for your data and code. Now, if you take private, it's most restrictive. So if something is private, it can only be used inside the same class. No class from outside can access it, not even other parts of the program. Okay, in the same class, only the private methods will be applicable. No one from outside. Okay, that is private. So now let me show you. Okay, let me show you with the examples. Let me say take. modifiers, access modifiers tester, and let me take this. Okay, so now let me say here class bank account. And now in the bank account, our balance will be like a private, right? Private. So let's say like balance equal to, I'm just saying. Now at the same time, I'm saying private void show balance. Okay, let me say balance. Okay, like this. Now here, balance and show balance cannot be accessed outside the bank account class. It cannot be accessed outside the class. So for example, if you go ahead and create an object, can you see? You're not getting the balance, right? You're not getting the balance, or you're not getting like show balance, even though it is an object for the particular class. Can you able to follow? This is clear? So when you have a variable and a method which is of a private,
Because
okay?
you are not putting, can you put bracket on after
Yeah,
this?
sure. Can you see error?
Yeah, yeah.
Can even if you hover the mouse pointer, it says like change the visibility of show balance.
To package.
Okay, show balance. Now if I make it as a public, just public, the error gone.
Can you
But
make
if
it
I
default?
say,
Default?
okay, default without any keyword, yes, it allows because
Yeah,
similar
yeah,
only. Your
yeah,
public and the default is similar only. The only thing is like the default will be accessed within the package. Public is can be accessed from different packages.
yeah. Can you put protected? Let's see.
Coming over to the protected. Okay, so protected in the sense like let's say all classes from within the same package, right? So which means like that is accessible. Now coming over here, if I say protected, it is accessible. Now coming over here, if I go ahead with this package demo, okay, this is a 14th, right? If I take this particular one package demo, so now coming over here, I wanted to take this, okay? Let me say the class, okay? I'll say like bank account equal to new bank account. Okay, so now coming over here, let's say default, right? It is default because no keyword, right? So when it is a default, it can access within the same package only. But what I'm doing, I'm trying to access it from the different package, right? So when there is no keyword, that comes under the category of default. Okay, and that will be applicable for your members, I mean variables, methods, class, interface. And those classes and those members, those methods, that will be accessible within the same package only. We cannot access outside it. Now coming over here, if you see, now coming over here, this, if I make it as a public, now you can see the difference over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we mentioned the class as public. So when you say public, it is applicable. I mean, it can access from anywhere, from any package.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, then if you see this, okay, the public type must define its own. Okay, that it's fine. Okay, so coming over here to the next, let me say, I will just remove it off. What will happen if I say private? Private. If it is a private, can you see? You can see over here for the constructor, you have to explicitly say. Earlier, if you're not specifying the constructor also, it goes. But when you specify the private, you can see you have to explicitly say the constructor. See, constructor.
Yeah.
Okay. All
That
right.
constructor should be public, then only it will be accessible.
Exactly. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Is that is clear? So coming over here, if you see, yes, this is what your access. Um, I'll just go ahead and comment this. Okay, this is what your access modifier. So mostly this protected. Okay, this protected that comes with the child class inheritance. Mostly this protected will deals with the inheritance only. Okay, inheritance. For example, let me say over here, I have a class, let's say class parent protected string family name equal to Smith. Now let's say like, okay, it's a sequence of character. So let's say like double quotes. Protected, let's say like void show family name. Now coming over here, family name, and let's say plus family name. It is protected. Now protected means what will happen? It is applicable to the methods, members, and in the class, but all classes from within the same package only it is accessible, which means if you go over here and if you say for the parent, okay, if you say for the parent that it cannot be accessible, within the package only it is accessible. That is what the protected. Okay, within the package only it is accessible. Okay, your public, when you have a public access modifier, then only it is accessible for all the classes from anywhere. But protected default, if you see, within the same package. Private means from that class only, not even a package, from that class only. Okay, is this is clear?
Yeah.
And private, when I add a private over here, you got an error, right? When I add a private, you got the error for the class name, which means like you cannot apply the private to the class because that is applicable only for the variables, methods, and the inner class.
Which
You
one?
can
Which one is inner class? Inner class is
private,
no, no,
private,
private.
inner
Can
class.
you?
Which one you wanted to show me? That this one. See, now coming over here, when I added a private to the class, the class name is showing an error, right?
Hmm. Then
Okay.
how you will declare the private? Can you?
That is for the inner class. See, that is what inner class. We already
Oh,
learned about this inner class, right? Class inside the class. Class, inner the class. Here you can say private. See, now no error. Okay.
When you remove inner class, can you put some like credit, class credit?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right. So private that cannot be given for your main
parent class,
class.
parent
Okay,
class you
main
can.
class you cannot give it. You can give it for the inner class. Okay, you can give it for the inner class.
Inner or child classes.
Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Now coming over back to the protected. Protected, if you see that is
Can you
applicable. Yeah.
just I have one question. Can you make the example of I mean, can you write some parent or child and try the private there inside the child? Can you
Okay,
see?
and that is what I'm doing, right? So
Hmm.
class, so still protected, we have to do it. So let me complete this and then I'll show you the private on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now coming over here, let's say like class, child, extends, parent. Now I'm going to say, okay, void display. So system inherited plus I'm going to say family name. Now coming over here, if you see family name and show family name are protected and it can be used in the child. Even if the child is in the different package, it can be used. Now coming over here, now let's say like over here, let's say parent, or let's say child, C1 equals to new child, C1 dot, okay, C1 dot, you can see family name is coming up, display is coming up, right? So you can also say family name, or you can say display. And if you execute it, you can see inherited Smith. Okay, inherited Smith. So family name was of protected. So when you say protected, that can accessible, sorry, when you say protected, all classes from within the same package. Okay, all classes from within the same package. Even if you go ahead with another class, okay, even if you go ahead with another class with the same package, you can access that. For example, let me show you demo for protected. So now coming over here, parent, can you see parent? Okay, let's say like a child, if you want child, c2 equal to new child. Now c2 dot show family name. So show family name is a parent method which has a protected keyword, and though it is a protected keyword, we can access within the same package, and our demo from protected tester is in the same package. So we can go ahead and execute this. Okay, can you see the family name Smith? Okay,
Yeah.
is this clear?
Yeah.
Any doubts on the access modifier?
Actually, you have not explained that private one, na?
I
Private can you?
explained you right.
Actually,
Coming over to the
I was
private.
no. You took 1 second. For the public one, you took an example of this parent and child inheritance. So can
This
you
is for protected. See, this is for
protected? Yeah. Can
protected.
you do
Okay.
same for the private? Is this
For the
possible?
private, I showed you over here. If you remember, when you have a class as a private, even like the constructor will not be visible. So you have to create a constructor. I, I hope you remember. See, when we have a private class, it showed an error because private will be applicable for the inner class, but not with the
So,
main class.
so it
But
will
when
not
we,
be it will not be applicable for the parent or child also in the
you
child or
wanted to
parent
over
in
here
case.
as well.
No,
Okay,
no,
now even
no,
coming over
no.
here.
I have question. In case of parent and child,
Hmm,
if let's suppose parent class is private, then in that case, child will not be able to access any of the properties of parent.
of course.
Why? Then what is the meaning of inheritance then?
Because, but because he's mentioning it as a private. See, private is like a secret. We cannot access the secret.
So you mean
If you
to
want to,
private is totally private to that particular class. It cannot be accessed anywhere in that child class even. In
exactly. Okay,
Okay,
if you want to make a class inherited, then you should not use the private keyword.
okay.
Okay.
So private is totally private, cannot be accessed anywhere, in not in the child, not in the I mean constructor, not in the same package, not in the
You can access
subclass.
only from the same class.
Yeah.
You can access only from the same class. If you are specifying private inside the parent, you can access that inside the parent class only, not outside.
But for
Okay.
protected, we
I'll
can.
show you. Wait. Private. Okay. Let me say. Okay. Message equal to private variable. Okay. Now, if I go ahead and say, uh, Now, if I go ahead and say, can you see? Sorry, C1, right? Okay, C1. Okay, C1. Now, okay. Now let's execute it. Okay. Now this is inside the default method. Now let's say inside the default method, this private is used in the same class. Now you can see the output over here. I repeat, here we are saying C1 show message. Show message is in the parent class and that is a default one, default modifier. Now in this method, we have a message to be printed and this is the message which is of private. We are using inside the parent class, inside the class itself. Okay, inside the class itself. Now
But in the
coming over
show,
here, if I same thing, if I do it over here in the child, what is the error? Not visible. Okay, not visible. Now, if you want to access the private variable, if you want to access private variable outside the class, then you want to create a getter and setter method. Getter and setter method with the help of the getter and setter method. Okay, you can go ahead and see get message. This
okay.
we have discussed in the very first class when we talked about the getter and setter methods.
No, actually, getter and setter method is in short you explain, but I think that need to be. It's okay. We will do in
See, wait.
next class.
See, if you're not clear, we can discuss. Not a problem at all.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
not a
Need to
problem at
discuss.
all.
Yeah.
Okay, now coming over here, when you say a private variable, that can be accessed within the class. But if you want to access the class, for example, let me say like the balance which we have private, right? I want to fetch the balance. I wanted to know. I have the rights, right? I have the rights of getting my balance, right?
Hmm.
I wanted to know, right? So I can say like balance is okay. Balance is okay. This will come with a bank account, right? Let me go ahead with this. So I will say ACC dot. I'm sorry, balance. Now, if you go over here, it says the field bank account balance is not visible. Why it is not visible? Because it is private. But this is my bank account and I have the rights of seeing the balance. Who can control me? At
Get
some,
message.
yeah. So sometimes the scenario, we have to access the private variable. So in that scenario, go ahead and create the getter and setter methods and automatically your variable balance, the private variable will be converted to the get balance.
So you
Get
mean if we
balance,
want to access the private class or private variable outside the class, then we can access using getter setter method.
exactly, get set method. Perfect.
Okay. Otherwise we can, if we are not using getter setter, we cannot access.
We cannot access.
Okay.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Is that making
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Now let's see my.
Just can you go down in this little bit in the last? See, you are in the last lines.
Mhm.
You are doing C1 dot show message. See, we are not. I'm not taking this getter or setter method. Before that, I'm asking question. C1 dot show message. How we can show this C1 dot show message, because even that one, this is we are accessing child class properties here, but that in the child class there is no. I mean, it's a with parent. I think that get message. Yeah.
Now let me clear it with you. Okay. This
Don't
C1,
think about this get or setter. Before that, we are talking actually.
yeah. Now coming over here. Okay.
So message.
Before now you have a get message. Before to that
Can
we
you
had
comment
one.
this? Yeah. Can
Yeah,
you just
I'll make it as a private one. Okay, just a message.
Hmm.
Even though if we have a child, if the parent is having a private, the child cannot access it,
Yeah, cannot access. But there
cannot
in the
access.
last line you are accessing C1 dot show message.
That time we didn't create the show message method in the class. So
No,
with the help, no,
still.
that time I'll tell you, that time we didn't create the show
No, no, not
message.
here, not here. In the last, see, 69 line.
That is what I'll coming over here. Wait a second. Okay. So in the child class, we didn't create the show message. Now, when you access the child class object, the reference variable, and saying show message, what will happen? It will go to the child class. It will check whether the method is there or not. If not, automatically it will go to the parent and it will fetch that.
Why it
And
will
that is
fetch?
what happened.
It's private, then why it's fetching?
Okay. Now coming over here,
That
the
message
show
is private
message.
to that message is
That
private.
also I explained.
This is
See,
1 second. This is my question actually. From your last explanation, I got that if something is private, it cannot be
it
inherited
cannot be
to even to
inherited.
the
That is
even to the child.
absolutely correct. That
But
is absolutely correct.
here we can we are inheriting for the child. Why?
If I am accessing the message, then I cannot. But here I am accessing a method which is a default access variable. Inside the default access variable, I am accessing the message. Okay, I am accessing the message which is a private variable. And that private I am accessing inside the class only. Inside the class, I can access anywhere my private variable. So here, nothing is there. When nothing is there, that is a default, right?
So
See,
you see
inside the
here
def.
1 second. This you have put it this private string message private variable. Hmm. So if something is private even to that class, so in that class only we can, if we have put it C1 dot
That is
instead of,
what. See, coming over
if we
here,
are making the child
this
hmm,
message is visible to this class only.
this class only,
Okay, this
but
class only. But here I am making a default access. I mean default access modifier for this particular method. This message is applicable for here. See, this message is a private variable that can be used anywhere inside the program and anywhere inside the class. So I am using it inside the method. And that method, I am making it as open.
this is
I am
default. That's fine. So message you are printing, but in so message why this private variable is coming?
because it is inside the class only. Right? This show message is inside the parent. That is the reason. If this
So,
message is not
so it means
here,
1 second.
and if it is here, then
One
there
second.
comes a problem.
So it means without a getter setter also even we can access by putting some logic we are
Within the
defining.
class, we can do it. Within the class, we can do
But
it.
without outside the class also it is accessible, na? Outside class means inside uh, uh, class parent is different, class child is different. Even we are inheriting. So it means if even something is private to parent, that can also be accessible by using some default message, some default function like pub void show message or like that one. So it is accessible,
You
I think.
can see that coming over here. You don't complicate yourself.
No,
So
I'm not
message is no, no, no,
complicating. My
wait.
question is, I'm still not clear for private actually, because if something is private, then still it is accessible outside the class because
Wait.
something is
Let
inside the
me let
parent
me
class.
wait. Let me explain you. This is the method which we have. Show message. Okay. Show message is the method which we have in the parent class.
Hmm.
What is the access modifier for this?
Default,
What is the access
default.
default? If it is a default, we can access it within the class. I mean, within the package, we can access it, right?
That's fine.
Now coming over here. So this you have it.
Hmm.
Now this show message is in the parent class and it is making use of a variable that is message. And this message access variable is access modifier is private.
Hmm.
And the show message and this private variable are in the same class. Hence, this is allowed.
Hmm. In the same class is no, no. See, that is fine. What I'm telling, even something is private. but still there are some
I
ways
told you, right?
so
See,
that we
that
can
is the
yes.
reason. See, something is private, but you wanted to make use of it in some reason.
Yeah, yeah. So see,
Okay,
that's
then you
fine.
can go by getter, setter, getter, and setter methods. You can
Uh,
also make use of this. This is just a printing only, right? Just displaying it. That's it.
displaying, but still by using something that we have some way so that we will it's not
See,
even
coming
private.
over here, when you come like this, right? So this also is equivalent to your getter and setter method only. Just to see this. Get message and show message. Nothing difference. Here you're printing and here you're returning. That's all. So these two methods are equivalent to the getter method.
Yeah, yeah. Can you
Then
just can you comment 42, 43, 44, please?
which one?
42, 43, 44 line. Can you comment just yeah, three line?
Hmm.
Can
Now
you
wherever I have a getter message, wherever I have a get message. So now this is like show message, right? So here what I do, I have added this line, see show message. So which is a getter method only for me,
can you
right?
print? Can you print?
Once again,
Samagna.
wait, let me check it out.
Mhm.
56 line number. Oh, it comes over here. Once again, you just keep on executing. Okay, stack overflow error. Oh my god, it comes like a stack overflow. Okay, show message. Oh, this. Okay. It is coming like this. I will modify this particular one. This I will modify it as one and one. Why? Because we are calling show message the same name we are giving for the function name, right? So that's the reason that is like a stack overflow. I have given the different name. Can you see now? So it's a can you see show message which is inside the parent class, which is equivalent to the
Actually,
getter
your
method.
audio is yeah,
Am I
now it's
audible
okay.
now?
Yeah,
Okay.
now it's okay.
Okay. Now the stack overflow. Why we got the stack overflow is like we said C1 show message. So child class show message. Again, it is a show message. So again, it is going with the it is getting confused, like it is getting confused like which message. So again and again it is coming and coming and coming and calling the same method. So that's the reason it was a stack overflow.
Oh,
So
that's
now we
fine. It's
provided the
because
different
we
one.
are using the same thing in the child as well as in parent
Mm.
because of that. But then what is the use of this is printing the same thing that was printing. Then what is the use of 42, 43, 44?
See, this is the another use. I mean, getter and setter methods only. Okay. So
Okay, okay.
getter and
Understand,
setter
understand. When
methods.
you was explaining that time, it came. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Understand. Yeah.
Okay. So in the both are similar only. Get message, get a method only. Here we are printing, here we are returning. That's all. You can use it in a different way. Suppose if you want to fetch the variable and you have to modify something, I mean, you want to make use of it in some other thing, yes, you can go ahead with the return. Suppose I don't want to do anything, just want to display, then you can go ahead with this print. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming over to the next. Okay, this is your access modifier. I hope the access modifier clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Now coming to the next. Okay, so next we talk about
Java
the
libraries.
yes libraries. Java libraries. So there are various challenges while developing the application that we will face. So for every functionality, we have to create a code from scratch. Let's say like comparing the two characters, find the length of the array, work with dates. So all those things we have to write from the scratch. But Java is a I mean Java is with a good set of API. API is a set of classes that are part of your JDK. So it includes all Java packages, classes, interfaces. So which means these pre-written classes that provide support to the developer while developing the application, which means it will help in developing the application faster. Now, coming over here, if you see, the first thing, if you see, we have an object class. So object class is the implicit superclass of all Java classes. Implicit superclass of all Java classes. Now, the method in the object class that can be inherited by all the Java classes, and they can be overridden also. Okay, so a method which takes an object reference as a parameter, and they will accept any object as the parameter. Now you have an object class. Okay, so now coming over here, let me take a library. You can simply say object. Okay, object. So coming over here, if you say object is the implicit class for all the, for all the Java classes. Okay, now if I want to make it more clear, okay, if I wanted to make it more clear, everything revolves around the object in Java. Okay, in Java, everything revolves around objects. Even a basic data type like your numbers, characters, that also can be converted into objects by using the wrapper class. For example, we use int, right? That comes from the class integer. That comes from the class integer. Okay, I repeat, we use int, right? We use int, right? That comes from the class integer. Can you see? Integer. So this is the object. So for your basic data type also, you can convert that into objects by using the wrapper class. Okay, by using the wrapper class. Now let's break it down. Very simple. In a simple way, I will let you know. We know that object is an instance of a class, and that object has a state and behavior, which means like the variables and the methods. A car, we can say it's an object. For the car, we can say color, speed as a variable, and a drive, brake, we can call it like a methods, right? So now coming over here, if I say over here,
I think these are pre-written programs. By using these Java libraries, our program efficiency and development efficiency will be faster.
exactly, that is what the library is all about.
So we can also say like ready-made things. Some ready-made APIs are available. By using these, we can easily, define instead of creating everything from scratch. We can use these ready-made thing while building the programs.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now just let's talk about this object and the wrapper classes. Okay. Slowly we will go
What
down.
is
Okay.
what is wrapper class?
Just now I said you right. So vapor class, if you see your basic data types, your basic
Okay.
data types like int, string, char, double, float, that can also be converted into objects. Now in Java, as I said, you like everything revolves around the object. Car is object is an instant of the class, right?
Hmm.
Car is an object, right? So like this, your basic data type also can be used as an object, can be converted into an object. How? By using the wrapper classes. By
Hmm.
using the wrapper classes. Now let's say one by one. Okay, let's talk about this object. Okay, object. So we have a car over here. Now what I'm going to do, so if I want to create an object for this car, I can simply say like car equal to new car. And I can say like my car dot drive. I can simply say. And if I go ahead and run this, I will get an output with car is driving at speed 0. Now at the same time, if I say my car dot speed equal to 80, and I will get the value as 80 now. Okay, this is the basic object. So my car is an object of the car class. Now what are wrapper classes? So Java has a primitive data type like int, char, double, but Java is object oriented. And sometimes we need an object version of these types. Okay, sometimes we need an object version of your primitive data types. And this is where the wrapper classes comes in. Okay, this is where the wrapper class comes in. So vapor class, okay, what is a vapor class? Okay, Java has a primitive data types. Okay, primitive data types, let's say like int, char, double, like this. And Java is object oriented, and sometimes even, okay, sometimes we need an object for these primitive data types, and that can be achieved. Okay, this can be achieved through the wrapper class. Okay, this can be achieved through the with the help of the wrapper classes. And for int, if you see, we have the wrapper classes integer. For double, you have the wrapper classes double. And for char, you have the wrapper classes character. And boolean, you have it as boolean. Float, you have it as float. Long, you have it as long. Short, you have it as short. Uppercase should be the uppercase. The first letter should be the uppercase, which that denotes the class. Okay. Now coming over here, byte, like this. The one which is are in the small letters that are primitive data type, the one which is are in the uppercase that are the wrapper class. Now let's see how we can make use of the wrapper class. Okay, I'm going ahead with a different one. Wrapper class. Desktop. Now coming over here, I'm going to say int number equal to 10. Integer object number equal to number. What I'm doing, I'm having a primitive data type. Now I'm applying a wrapping class. Okay, wrapping for this primitive data type. Okay, so integer. Okay, we have an integer. Okay, and then object number is the wrapper class wrapper variable name, then number. Okay, just give me a second. Just give. Yeah. Okay, so here now comes over here. See the difference. Primitive number. Wrapper. Okay, now let's see this. 10, 10. So now coming over here, Java automatically converts your int to the integer, and this is called as auto boxing.
This is called
auto boxing.
Auto boxing.
Auto boxing. So when you do a wrapper, right? When you're covering your primitive data type with the wrapper classes, and that we call it like a auto boxing.
Okay.
Okay. So let me put it over here so that it will be easy for you. So now coming over here, Java automatically converts int to integer, and this is called auto boxing. Okay, this is called auto boxing. Now, why we use wrapper class? Why we use wrapper class? Wrapper classes allow primitives to be used in the collections. So we will be seeing the collections as well. Collections framework, that is a very important topic in Java.
Okay.
Okay, collections. So now in the collections, we will be using a wrapper classes. Okay, so they
Okay.
provide useful methods. Okay, now if you see, if I say integer, now let's say like object number is there, right? Object number is a integer one, the wrapper class. I have a lot of methods over here. See, I have a lot of methods, right? But
Hmm.
if I say number, I don't have a
No.
methods.
Hmm.
I don't have a methods.
So
So
wrapper class have lot of methods. It means.
exactly, exactly.
So it is
Okay,
called. It's used in collections.
collections framework. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
List,
So
set, all these. Queue.
yeah, array list, queue, DQ. Okay, all those things will come.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So they
Okay.
allow
Let's go ahead.
handling.
Yeah.
Yeah, they allow handling the null values, which primitives they do not do it. Okay. Now let's see. Coming over here. Okay, we are going to convert the string to integer. Okay, let's say convert string to integer. Okay, now let's say string, I have str equal to 1 2 3. Now int num equal to, so if I want to convert, what I will be using, I will be using the integer. Can you see the wrapper class dot uh parse int of str, so which will convert the string to the integer. Okay, then if you wanted to print, you can print number into 2. Now this will give you an output of 246. Okay, all right. So this is useful when you work with the user input application.
But
For example,
why to use string str is equal to 123 instead of directly use int? Why, matlab,
I'm just
what is
showing
the
an
benefit?
example.
No, 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 no,
Example
no, no. That's okay. I
that
know
is a
that.
fine,
I know
but um,
that is used in programming whenever we need to convert. But just in normal case, I am just asking what here if we are convert. I mean, we are using 123. Why not to use int instead of string str?
now coming over here, when you're getting an input from the user, input
Uh,
from the user means from the command line.
okay.
Whatever value that you get from the command line, that is a string. If you remember the scanner class, which we learned,
Yeah.
okay? So when you're getting an input from the user, all the values will be in the form of a string.
String. We need to convert that.
So if you wanted to convert a number, then you have to make use
So
of it.
there are some classes, special classes, where we are giving input as a string, so that we need to convert that string to integer later.
Exactly.
Okay. So in some, I mean, some classes only, some special classes, or we can say API or some packages, but not in every, eh? Not in
Not
every.
in every. Not in every.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the auto boxing and unboxing. Okay, auto boxing and unboxing, which we can call it like a wrapping and unwrapping it. Wrapping, unwrapping. So that is what the name that we can say it like a auto boxing and unboxing. Auto boxing and unboxing in the sense like let's say like Java automatically converts between your primitives and wrapper class. Okay, primitive and wrapper classes. So for example, let me say, okay, I'm just going to take the same example over here. Okay, or let's say like integer a equal to 10. Okay, integer a equal to 10, which is of auto boxing. Okay, which is of auto boxing because 10 is a integer.
Hmm.
10 is a integer which is which is wrapped with the integer capital N, the wrapper class. Now I'm going to say int b equal to a. This is called unboxing. Okay, this is called unboxing. Unboxing means I am giving a wrapper class, okay, to the primitive data type, to the primitive. Okay, if you are converting primitive to wrapper, that is called as auto boxing. If you're converting wrapper to primitive, that is unboxing. Okay, is it
So in
clear?
the
Both will
line
get the
number,
same output.
oh, in the line 25, you are converting this to from wrapper class to that how
Which
you are?
one? See, just an integer value that
No,
I'm
no.
directly
I
assigning it to
I
the variable.
understand. In 24, you are doing you are creating the wrapper object,
Mm,
correct?
mm,
But in line number 25, what do you?
Normal primitive data type.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I'm
normal. Then how you are
I'm
telling this is
assigning a
unboxing?
I'm assigning a variable of a wrapper class, right? Can you see A,
Okay,
which is of a wrapper class,
okay,
right? If I want, I will make it like this for you: wrapper, and this we can make it like wrapper. Instead of b, I will say primitive.
it's okay.
Mhm. Okay, so A will be the wrapper. So if you are converting the primitive to wrapper, you don't want to worry. So that we call it like a auto boxing. When you're converting your wrapper to the primitive, then that we call it like a unboxing. Okay, so now
Okay,
both the things will give you the same output only. Okay, both the things will give you the same only. Okay,
okay. Yeah,
all right. So yes, the key difference between the primitive and the wrapper. Okay, so in the primitive, null values are not allowed, but in the wrapper, null values are allowed. In the primitive data type, methods are not allowed. So if you see primitive dot, no methods, but wrapper dot, lot of methods.
okay. So in
Okay,
the benefit of wrapper classes, we can get lot of method to define.
exactly, yes. And the wrapper class that can be used in the collections, and then your I mean primitive that you cannot use in a collections.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Any doubts you have on the wrapper class objects?
No, no. Yeah,
Okay, yes. So objects are instance of classes and it has data and behavior. So wrapper class that allows the primitive data type to be used as an object. So Java provides an automatic conversion. Okay, that is what your auto boxing and unboxing. So wrapper classes are useful for working with the collections.
okay. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So though we have stopped over here with the collections, okay, we will go ahead and talk about the collection framework in tomorrow's session.
Sure, sure.
Okay, all right, yes, and then we will talk about the
Collection.
exceptions.
Yeah, exceptions also. Yeah,
Collection framework, and we will talk about the exceptions also.
yeah,
All right, so any doubts that you have in today's session, please do let me know.
yeah. No doubt. I will revise, and if any question, I will ask you tomorrow.
Yes, please. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So that's it for today. I'll do one thing. I'll just put the files on the chat for your
sure.
reference. You can take it. Here you go.
Four files or
Okay.
five?
Five files you can see.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
1 second. Just I'm downloading.
Mm.
Yeah, downloaded.
Okay. Okay. So yes, Sachin, are you there?